So good morning, everybody. My role here is actually very clearly defined, Abhiraj. I have to tell you this also.
Yes.
So that we are not suddenly meandering off course. Okay. My role here is to make sure that everybody gets some serious headlines today. Okay. So I'm going to play devil's advocate. Every single question that is coming to your mind is the one I'm going to ask. This is going to be a hard questions round. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
We're good to go with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start off with every incredible product always has a backstory, why it happened. Now, history tells us that usually a service company that comes up with a product will either do something startling, disrupt a revolutionary product, or an absolutely terrible product, because that's not their core competence, right? So tell us the backstory, then we'll come to revolutionary or not. Okay.
Sounds good, Rajiv. So, bear with me because it's a slightly longish story. So we started, as many of you know, we started Urban Company in late 2014, early 2015. And I think somewhere around 2016 is when we started the water purifier repair and servicing category. And that category in the last 6-7 years has actually grown quite a bit. We've serviced and repaired over 1 million water purifiers pan-India. When we started that category, one of the pain points that we heard from our consumers was that, look, your technician is going and sourcing a filter from the market. Why don't you get me filters from the branded OEMs? So we went and approached most of the major OEMs to partner with them. And we were a smaller, lesser known startup at the time. And so, understandably so, all of them refused to partner with us. So but we had to do something about the consumer's pain point and the fact that consumers weren't trusting the local filters that were being used. So a couple of years in around 2018 or so, we launched our own sub-brand of water filters under the brand name called True Water. These started to do quite well. We never pushed them with our technicians. We gave technicians the choice to either buy from the market or buy from us. And in a very short duration of time, about 70-80% of the filters that were essentially being used in the service were all being sourced through us. This gave us some confidence. And I remember when COVID hit, this was 2020, first set of lockdowns, business is now down to zero. No services can be delivered, so we're all sitting at home and we're thinking about all types of ideas. What new could we do now that the services business is actually shut for some time? And hold and behold, one of our team members came up with the brilliant idea that, look, we are anyways servicing and repairing water purifiers. We anyways have filters. Why don't we make our own water purifiers? So when this gentleman in question sent the email, the initial reaction was obviously to completely discount it and say that it's an outlandish idea. But I think one of the things I take some pride in is that we have a culture within Urban Company of, even while we can at times be slightly provocative with each other, but we have space for sharing innovation, sharing innovative ideas. We don't shoot down ideas right off the bat. So I told the team, I said, okay, look, we are happy to get into this category, but I don't want to launch a Me Too product. I don't want to be in the category just because we have access to consumers or just because we have a service fleet. If we're really going to go out there and launch something, it has to be disruptive, it has to be innovative, and it must address a key consumer pain point, something that has not been addressed so far. So then we started spending a lot of time with consumers. We piloted a couple of RO versions even before this with about 5,000 consumers. We spent a lot of time on the ground. And one of the key pain points that we heard consistently from consumers was that why is it that my water purifier needs servicing every few months? Why? And I'm sure all of you have faced this pain point. As soon as you buy a water purifier, the brands will start calling you to buy the AMC every few months. The filters need to change. In fact, over the lifetime of an RO water purifier, you end up spending 2 to 3 times more money on servicing versus the initial purifier itself. Because this was a truth of the industry that had remained sort of the accepted truth for a while, we ignored this pain point that kept coming. So we were, flirting around with other ideas that consumers were suggesting, because we felt that, okay, this is how the industry is, we can't change this. Until we could ignore this point no more, because we just kept hearing it so often. So that's when we went back to the drawing board. I threw a challenge to the team. I said, can we make a water purifier that delivers very, very high quality, pure and safe water without needing constant servicing, and which has very low serviceability. And of course we'll talk in more detail through the course of today, but this that we are unveiling today, the native M1 and M2, is that water purifier. In my view, it is the best water purifier in the world. It needs no servicing for 2 years, no servicing at all. Even after 2 years, when you get the first service done from Urban Company, you're set up for another 2 years with no service. And there are a bunch of other things that we're very proud of, so happy to talk about them.
So you've actually taken away by far the biggest pain point. You said it, and I completely agree, that entire rigmarole that starts. In fact, a lot of people say, "Khareedna bhi chahiye ki nahi?" Because that whole service element is really problematic, right? You've taken that away. This is a smart one, therefore there must be an app and everything else. I'm sure we'll hear more details, but can you give me 1 or 2 other things that app does? Like when you take a look at the app, does it tell you when you need how much the filter is being used? What is the quality of the water? What all does the app actually showcase?
Yes, so the native M2 model, which is the smart water purifier, is fully integrated into the Urban Company app. It shows you all the filters that we have, and we have 10 stages of filtration. So it shows you the health of all of those filters, and it shows you the overall health of your water purifier, as well as the total dissolved solids or TDS level of your water. It shows you the water consumption. Very importantly, in the rare event that for whatever reason any of those filters is not working properly and the purifier needs a service, it will automatically alert you. Even if you miss that alert, it will alert us at the back end, and Urban Company will automatically trigger a service request to go out there and make that filter change possible. And this is very important because most consumers realize very late when their water purifier is not functioning. In fact, a lot of them end up realizing this after falling sick, that their water purifier is failing to function properly. So it's a fully integrated smart system that is there right on your UC app for you to see.
So looks great. I mean, like I said, you've basically taken away most of the pain points, and it's like you said, maybe the world's best at. I think we'll take a look when we all check this one out. So now let me wear my journalistic hat and ask you the question everyone wants to, which is, if these are the pain points and everyone knows they are, why haven't the brands that are the OEMs and the brands that have been doing this for so many years, why have they not been able to come out with a product like this? Why are you the first one to come up with 2 years with one service, and once you service it, it's good for another 2 years? Why do they not have all these other things? The automatic trigger for a service, I think, is also a fantastic idea, because again, calling people, I want service, a service center person comes in, you talk to somebody, all this is actually a big jhanjat, right? So all this is fantastic that this is just working, and it just works, which is a huge stress-free product. But why would you be able to do it when all of us know that this is a huge pain point? Why haven't they, the OEMs and the brands that are known for water purification, why have they not done it?
Yeah, Rajiv, before I answer that question, maybe I'll spend a minute just explaining the technology that allows this water purifier to deliver clean water for up to 2 years. So essentially there are 10 stages of the filtration system that we have. You start with the pre-filter, and then there are 9 other stages: the RO, the carbon filter, the 4-in-1 health booster, and so on and so forth. In each of these stages, we have, in many stages, created what is known as a multi-micron fiber. So you don't have just one filter; you have multiple filters, and that allows, stage-wise purification, which extends the life of the filters. The other thing that we've done is something called a rapid reverse rinse, which means every cycle the water flows back in the opposite direction without increasing any water wastage. That means that all the impurities that are there, they get flushed out. So it's very simple technology, powerful technology that needed us to think and innovate for a while. But at the heart of it, it's not rocket science. It's a superior filtration system and the rapid reverse rinse put together, and we'll talk more about this subsequently. I think to your question of why existing OEMs have not been able to do this, see, my sense is that whenever an industry takes a shape where a substantial percentage of the revenues come from a certain part of the business, and in this case, for these OEMs, about between a third to half of their revenues can often come from servicing. It can be hard to take a position that puts those revenues at risk, and it would be hard for anybody. It would be hard for us as well if we had a third to 50% of our revenues coming from servicing, and then to create a product that actually does not need that servicing. You're also in the groove within that industry, so there are certain set ways of working that you accept as truths. And the fact that water purifiers need servicing is a truth that the industry has told the consumers, has told its suppliers, it has told itself. There's a whole ecosystem around it of suppliers. Often industries need an outsider that has no prior baggage and nothing to lose, to look at things with a fresh lens and come in with disruptive ideas, and we've seen that in industry after industry. By the way, we could have been that company. We're a service company. So the most natural thing for us should have been to say, let's design a water purifier that needs servicing. Because we
should have designed one that needs servicing every month. So that would have been great revenue for you, right? I mean,
exactly, right?
And which brings me to a question again.
Yeah.
Aren't you hurting your core business then? I mean, you said that one of your, what did you say, 1 million?
We've done over 1 million service.
So you're really taking that revenue away and bringing this in. So have the economics of that been worked out?
Yeah, the economics of that has been worked out. What helps is that even though we've done over 1 million repair and service jobs for water purifiers, it's still less than 5% of our revenue. So it's not a very big revenue source, to be honest. That said, we'd like to think of ourselves as a consumer-first company, not just as a service company or a company that's wedded to certain lines of businesses. If it's right for the consumer, we are happy to build products and services that do right by consumers, even if they disrupt our existing lines of businesses. Because if we don't do that, we're essentially waiting for somebody else to come and eventually build a water purifier that needs little to no service, and that would then disrupt our service business. So, in some sense, the only way to survive and thrive in the competitive industry that we are in is to constantly disrupt ourselves.
So, when you describe yourself, the outsider that comes into an industry, shakes it up, disrupts it, you're almost being the Tesla of, cars. I mean, till Elon Musk didn't suddenly say, I can do an EV that can do this. EVs were really not thought about, and everyone's always asked that the world's biggest companies that build cars are not able to do it. So if you're being Elon Musk and this is the Tesla of all water purifiers, then can you explain to me, you're taking away the BS in this industry, you're disrupting this industry, but you have 2 products.
Yeah.
Now, if you really were 100% coming in saying disrupt one product for all, why do you have 2?
It's a good question, and we briefly spoke about this earlier. Rajiv. So the two products M1 and M2 are equally good in terms of their water purification system. Both offer 2 years, no questions asked, unconditional warranty, up to 2 years, no service needed. M2 is smart, so it has all the smart features, it's integrated into the UC app. M1 does not come with the IoT enabled smart features. We wanted to see what consumers are going to prefer and launch two products that are at price points which are amicable to a broad range of consumers. And we're very open. So as we've spoken about earlier, we are seeing more traction in M2. I would love for more M2s to be sold. That's the smart purifier. And if eventually we see that M2 significantly overtakes M1, we're very happy to put our money where our mouth is and go fully behind M2 and make it the single product. It's very important for us not to add clutter to this industry. That is a philosophy. Most water purifiers that you will see on online websites have long names, RO plus UV plus TDS plus this plus that. Our names are M1 and M2 because we want a clutter-free, simple approach to the category. Get the purifier, install it, forget about it for 2 years. It is going to deliver clean, safe water to you and keep telling you. And that's a commitment and a promise that that we want to live by.
I mean, you've literally put your, the product also says the same thing, very clean. I don't even see a UC branding. I think it is there, that small little circle.
Very, very small, yes, very small. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger, but some of the folks in the team are minimalist in their design philosophy, so they pushed it to the top corner.
So now let's come down to if this, and it seems like you've got a true winner because almost anything we've seen in the last 10 years, if you take away a true pain point in a category, in a subcategory or in an industry, you tend to revolutionize that entire category. This seems like a revolution in the making. So once this happens, if we were to kind of get a visit into the native R&D center right now, are there other products that you're thinking of? Disrupt other categories because there are so many that do need a disruptor. So can we expect more to come from within this brand new venture that you have?
We can. I'm happy to talk about one of them. In fact, in the UC app, you can also see some early versions. It's smart door locks. That's one category that we're quite excited by. Still early. We're still figuring it out. Eventually our goal is to be a home solutions company that consumers love, and those solutions could straddle services or a range of products which solve everyday simple pain point, keeping your home clean, making sure your home is well maintained, clean drinking water, etc., etc. So I think that's the direction in which we want to take the company. The services business is our core business. Native as a new sub-brand will introduce the home products and the home solutions that can also simplify everyday life.
Okay, that's pretty much my question. So I am really looking forward to now understanding the tech behind it, the people that actually came up with all of this. How have you achieved something where you have a service that is 4 to 5 times longer in terms of the time that you actually will need to make it happen, especially the reverse flush out of everything else. So I'd love to understand all of that, but I also want to come back maybe a few months from now and really find out if M2 is the only one that is actually selling. So I think we got enough headlines out of this one. Now let's understand the tech. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.